Good afternoon, this is the latest video update on Tropical Storm Kaitak or Bagyong Helen, still east of Luzon, and last located approximately 300 kilometers east-northeast of Ilagan and Isabela, or about 340 kilometers east-southeast of Apari, Cagayan. Maximum sustained winds are at 75 kilometers per hour with gusts of up to 110 kilometers per hour. The system is currently moving west-northwestward at a speed of 15 kilometers per hour according to the latest JMA analysis. You can see in this latest satellite image some very strong convective activity here, some very bright clouds just east of Luzon, and you can also see those clouds affecting obscuring much of Luzon and even into parts of Visayas actually. Now the center is still somewhat displaced to the north of the system, as we've talked about yesterday, but how the system is encountering some moderate wind shear, northeasterly wind shear, displacing the convection from the low-level center. However, we have seen quite an improvement in terms of structure of the system. This is the latest microwave image taken roughly an hour ago, and if you watched my video yesterday, I was telling about the darker blue lines signifying the low-level banding within the storm structure, and as you can see, what this image implies is that the low-level center seems to have moved back in under the strong convective activity. So we are not seeing much of that darker blue center yesterday compared to yesterday. So it could signify a much better consolidation overall in terms of the system structure, and we could probably see a faster pace of intensification as the shear weakens north of Luzon, as I'll show later in the update. Meanwhile, PAGASA has now raised signal number 2 for a number of provinces across northern Luzon, Kalinga, Cagayan, Apayao, and also the groups of islands north of Luzon, Batanes, Babuyan, and Cagayan. We also have signal number 1 up for Quirino, Aurora, Nueva Vizcaya, Ifugao, Benguet Mountain Province, Ilocos Sur, Abra, and Ilocos Norte, basically all the provinces across northern Luzon, expecting winds of 60 to 100 kilometers for signal number 2 and 30 to 60 kilometers per hour winds for areas under signal number 1. Areas mentioned should also be wary of widespread rains that could last tonight and into tomorrow. Again, showing you this infrared image, that very cold cloud tops. See those bright yellow shades here, obscuring much of Luzon and even Visayas. Actually, you can barely see the map of the Philippine Sea here, but some very strong convective activity bringing widespread rains across eastern Luzon, areas across Cagayan, and also Isabela and Aurora also beginning to report rains of around 100 to even 150 millimeters in some places. Baguio City also recorded 100 millimeters in the past 36 hours, and the parts of central Luzon also embedded along that large cyclonic circulation of the storm, also experiencing some on and off rain showers, sometimes heavy, and some stations also reporting 50 to 100 millimeters of rainfall in the past 24 hours. Manila, on the other hand, hasn't really seen heavy rains yet, although the latest radar from Subic showing you this widespread rains moving from the northwest to the southeast, so basically embedded along that large circulation of Kaitak. So still expecting some rains to impact Manila and also into the southern Luzon provinces tonight, and it could last into tomorrow. Showing you the animated Doppler radar image from PAGASA's Project NOAA, and showing you the rains moving in from northwest to southeast, impacting much of central Luzon, provinces of Zambales, Tarlac, Pampanga, Bataan, and Bulacan, and also again moving into the National Capital Region and eventually towards Cavite, Batangas, and even into Rizal and Quezon provinces. So unfortunately, more rains here. However, not as heavy, and as you can see, the intensity of the rains as well as the coverage is not as large as what we've seen last week. However, this rains can still bring a quick 50 millimeters of rainfall in a couple of hours, so still has the potential to cause flooding and even landslides. I know dams across central and northern Luzon continue to release water as of now, due to the because officials are expecting more rains from Kaitak in the next few days. Unfortunately, more flooding definitely across parts of central Luzon here, and also into the parts of Visayas. We are not seeing widespread rains here. However, the circulation of Kaitak, again, those inflow bands, still enhancing some rains and even thunderstorms across much of Visayas, and sometimes these thunderstorms can bring the threat of tornadic activity. We heard news yesterday of some sort of a water spout forming near Iloilo City here. So those embedded thunderstorms can still bring strong gusts with microbursts, and also again the potential for tornadic activity. So just beware of those threats here. But the bigger threat again remains across northern Luzon as we continue to monitor the system move to the west-northwest, and the bulk of convection will surely affect and overspread much of northern and even into central Luzon in the coming days. And you should also have to be aware of the potential for the enhancement of the southwest monsoon in the next few days, probably by Friday or Thursday at the earliest. As the system moves north of Luzon, it will enhance again the southwesterly flow, bringing more rains, unfortunately, across parts of western Luzon and even into the Visayas area. Speaking of the track, we are still expecting Kaitak to continue moving west-northwestward again under the influence of this subtropical ridge here. While we are not expecting a direct landfall in terms of the circulation of the storm making landfall over Cagayan, it could still brush the northern tip of Cagayan, particularly near Santa Ana, later tonight or perhaps early tomorrow morning, Wednesday, as it moves into the Luzon Strait. Now, the forecasts from the weather agencies across the region also in very good agreement in terms of the forecast track for Kaitak. Again, also expecting the system to move across the Luzon Strait, perhaps moving just south of Taiwan, more particularly south of the city of Hengchun by Wednesday evening, not making landfall, but still very near Taiwan. It could still bring heavy rains and also strong winds across the southern part of the country. The system will continue to move west-northwestward, eventually turn more to the west, and perhaps could make landfall across the province of Guangdong here in southeastern China, more particularly near the city of Shantou, and 250 kilometers east of Hong Kong. This is by Thursday evening or Friday morning, depending on the forecast agencies. There are still some timing differences as the speed of the system continues to vary day by day. In terms of intensification, I was talking about the wind shear earlier, and you can see the system is now moving into somewhat weaker wind shear. Center of the storm is right over here, and as you can see, we are seeing weaker wind shear around 10 knots across north and northeastern part of Luzon. We are still expecting a more weakening tonight and into tomorrow as the system moves across Luzon Strait. So still has the chance and still has the potential to quickly intensify in the next 24 to 36 hours. JTWC is expecting the system to become a typhoon south of Taiwan as early as Thursday morning, so and eventually making landfall as a strong Category 1 typhoon over the province of Guangdong. So still lots of a big threat rather for the provinces here in southeastern China, and unfortunately more rains as well for the Philippines, especially across northern and central Luzon in the coming days. That concludes our update for today. You can continue to keep monitoring the developments of the system, checking out the latest and forecast from your official weather agency, especially PAGASA for the Philippines. Guys, bye.